Okay. You have a wonderful quote that I've been using as a bit of a mantra over the past few years. It's from your book, Guided Meditations, and it's in the financial meditation. It's
every word in that book has been specifically and precisely presented with vibrational accuracy, perfection.
Wonderful. I love it, and I feel it.
Yeah.
So the quote is that abundance expands proportionately to match desire. And
yeah.
I do believe that, and I feel like I've been having it in the forefront of my mind on a pretty much daily basis, and I say it often throughout the day.
There's no problem at all or question about what you've asked for and how big it is. This is the supply and demand thing that we were talking about earlier. The desire is the demand and the belief is the supply. So you've asked, but if it isn't manifesting in the way you want it, then you've got your pipe pinched off because of your awareness of what is. Usually what is the reason that most people don't allow now to improve, because now has their attention and now is what it is. And if they give their attention to what is, then they clog up the pipes, and then even though they're asking for more, their pipes are clogged up because they're so attentive to what is. So you have to get a little creative by not being so realistic about what is, or by seeing what is as really temporary. When it doesn't feel temporary, well, you're calling it temporary, but I've been in financial difficulties for 25 years, Abraham. That doesn't seem so temporary. And we say, well, it would have been temporary 25 years ago if you hadn't regurgitated it that year and the next year and the next year and the next year and the next year. You keep updating it. So you have a question? Because we know you know all of that.
Yes. And I think what's because I've been living it and I've really been honoring it, and it's been working. I think what's happened just recently is this year there's a few very big projects. Like, it was going along vibrationally little by little by little.
But here's the thing. You're making a wrong assumption. That would be like Esther making the assumption that the fire feature is asking for too much gas. That's the wrong assumption. The problem is the supply isn't giving the fire feature the gas it wants. Are you hearing it? So what do humans think? Well, my fire feature is greedy. I shouldn't be asking for that much gas. I better just cap that off and never turn that on again. Well, is the problem the desire, or is the problem the supply?
I think I'm letting other people's opinions to get in. Like, I know that my abundance expands proportionally to match desire.
Other people's opinion, like what?
Well, just because the desires are big, you have someone's opinion say, oh, really? That's, are you sure you want to do that? That's like going to be a lot of money.
Send them to Esther at the Spurs game. She'll have a talk with them.
Okay.
Tell that terrible story about your own life, but leave me out of it. Tell that story of deprivation to anybody that will listen. I'm just not going to be one of them. Practice depriving yourself of the things that are naturally flowing to you if you want to, but leave me out of that equation, because I believe that energy streams to whatever desire is there. And why would I pinch myself off from the flow? Why would I ask the universe to not expand in this way when the existence of the universe is all about expansion? Why would I say, yeah, universe should expand, but it shouldn't give me more? What? This is either an expanding universe or it's a shrinking universe. Which is it? It's expanding. And how does it expand? You live life and you ask for things. And it's only people who have pinched off their supply that think you should too. Here's a really good rule of thumb. Whenever somebody is giving you advice, just ask yourself, is this a happy person that I'm listening to? If somebody says to you, you should not want that, just ask yourself the question, is this a thriver? Is this person thriving? And your answer is right there. No, this person's trying to teach me deprivation, because this person is living deprivation and wanting to justify their own deprivation by encouraging me to be deprived too. Wonder what my inner being thinks about that. Oh, I can tell by the knot in my stomach what my inner being thinks about this. really, when you think about it, if it were wrong for you to expand, would you have bothered to come? If it were wrong for you to expand, would you live in a universe that's all about expansion? There's no shrinking of anything. There's no regression. There is no regression. There's no something that was disappearing. There's only more. It's the mantra of the universe. It's what puts the eternalness in eternity. And so just because much of the world, maybe even most of the world, is humaning rather than allowing the fullness of who they are, doesn't mean that it's a good idea. So we know we've convinced you momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to ask you what you think your inner being thinks. Is thriving wrong?
No.
Is thriving natural?
Yes.
Do you have an assignment about how much you should or should not thrive?
No.
Is your own life the reason that you decide about the thriving that you are choosing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to choose it moment by moment?
Yes.
Are there times that you might choose more than other times?
Yep.
In every case, are you thriving, or in every case, are you not thriving?
Thriving.
Is energy always flowing through you?
Yes.
Does it flow because of desire that you have set into motion?
Yes.
Does it flow only because of desire that you've set into motion, or is there another factor?
I would say only because I've desire that is set into motion.
Well, you're calling for it with your desire, but does it flow only because of your desire, or is there another factor?
Well, it flows anyway.
Does it flow only because there's desire, or is there another factor? Is your desire the only factor, or is there another factor? Your belief is a great big factor. So if you desire something that you don't believe, you've got the valve shut off and your pipes are howling and the fire feature is dark. Is there enough gas?
Yeah.
Esther called up City Public Service. Do you have enough gas for me? Is there any possible way that I could use more gas than you want me to use? Is there a limit of how much gas I can use? Do we have any shortage of gas supplies? Do you want to thrive by selling more gas to me? If I were to have a fire feature and I would leave it on all day, every day, and my gas bill were like $1 million a month, would that be all right with you? They would say, we'll bring you more valves, we'll bring you more pipes, we'll bring you as much as you want, because City Public Service wants to thrive.
Absolutely.
You see. So where do you get your shortage consciousness?
Yeah, it's silly.
It's illogical when you look at it in terms of supply and demand, because when you ask for something, it always comes. You see, it's easy for us to explain this to you because we've watched your economy from the beginning of humanness. We've watched your economy. We know that when you live life and you ask for more, that the universe provides more and that there's no shortage, because the law of attraction provides whatever is necessary for the creation of whatever your life has caused you to ask for. So you will never run out of the supply of anything. It will take different forms, but it is an endless supply because this is an eternal universe. But humans get this shortage consciousness going where they think there's only enough life force for this generation. Everybody else is not going to make it. No. And so all you have to do is look back not much more than 100 or 200 years when your economy was about beads and fur, gold chunks. And now look at the basis of your economy. Now your thoughts are commerce. Now your ideas are commerce. Now the energy that moves through the internet is commerce. There's no end to the stream of abundance that flows through the consciousness of all that is. Only humans pinch themselves off for really unnecessary reasons. We've convinced you.
You have.
So now start your story again. This is helpful. You just sat into the chair, and what is it that you want to say to infinite intelligence about your financial situation? What do you want to say?
What do I want to say now? Or when I sat in the chair?
Have you heard nothing from us? If there's ever anything that you will know about us, is that we want you to be as present in the now as you can be.
Yes.
So, what would you like to say about your financial, what do you know about it?
That abundance expands proportionately to match desires. I have more confidence in that now than ever.
Is there another factor? Yes, my belief. Is that factor adjustable?
Yes.
Yes. How do I know it needs to be adjusted? I'm worried about money. I'm jealous about money. I don't have enough money. I don't feel good about money, or I don't have enough money. So what does an adjustment to a closed valve feel like? Put yourself there. The gas is being summoned, the valve is closed, and the pipes are doing this, water pipes too. So what happens when the valve is open?
The flow and relief.
Relief. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Enough?
I love it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we want you to adapt to your own guidance system and to the feeling of satisfaction. We want you to begin to identify and isolate what the feeling of satisfaction feels like, so that you can tell when you're on the right track and when you're not. Because if there are so many people clamoring to get you to not turn on your fire feature, just don't turn it on. Don't turn it on. But the potential of it is so real, but don't turn it on. It makes your house howl. Don't turn it on. Don't let yourself want that. That's too much to want.
Right. Stop wanting so much.
Stop wanting it. Good luck with that. You think, if Esther had said, okay, I'll just never turn that on, it's okay. Every day she'd look out there and she'd think, you should be on fire. You just look stupid. You look like a flower bed with no flowers. Maybe I could take the lava rock out and the pipes out and put dirt in and put flowers in it. Not now I've seen fire. It's called a fire feature. It's not called a fireless feature. It's not called a takes too much gas feature.
It's not a I settled feature.
It's not a I'll settle for less than I desire feature. It's that I will live up to the potential of that which I am. And if this time-space reality has the wherewithal to give me a desire, it has the wherewithal to provide the resources for me to live it fully, and I deserve it. And you do, and you're just getting started, and oh wow. Enough?
So this is a thing I think is in my shadow. How, in my new chapter, do I pursue relationships, whether they're casual? Do I create casual? Am I allowed to have casual relationships? Because now I feel like I'm clear.
Everything that we just said to you, relationships is the only thing that's outside of that. You're allowed everything you want except with relationships. And with relationships, you must settle for things you don't want. Every relationship you have should suck from now on. And if there's anything that you think you really want, get over it, because you're not going to have it. Now, see how ridiculous that sounds?
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. There is so much love for you from us in this moment. Take it easy. There is great love here for you. And for now,